What's up, desktoppers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding. Today, I'm joined by Martin Fitzwater from the Bodybuilding University podcast. He's over in Birmingham, as I've been told by the UK people, not Birmingham, in the UK. And he's one day out of that Arnold Classic where he's going to be competing against Andrew Jacked. He's going to be competing against Mark Hector. He's going to be competing against James Hollingshead. You've got Patrick Johnson. You don't have Lionel Wakey because he's out of a contest, pretty much like he has been every other contest we've seen lately. But, man, wanted to do this live. Everyone in the comments, get your questions in for Martin Fitzwater as well. We're going to talk a little bit before we get to those questions. But, man, after that long-ass intro, how you doing? How you feeling one day out of that 2022 Arnold Classic UK?
Bro, this has been the coolest ride. So, like we were just talking, man, like kind of just like one of those things where you know it's going to be like something that you remember forever. So, we were talking about it today, Branch and I, and like, you know, obviously, like, we really feel like we're going to win this. I look the best I've ever looked, man. And Branch was just like, this is your first pro win is going to be one of the ones that you remember forever. There will be ones that are more important. There will be ones that are cooler and a cooler experience. But he said that first one is cool. So just having a blast, dude. Like I said, just enjoying the experience. Like, we've already proved to everybody that I'm a good bodybuilder this year. So now we just get to show everybody that I improved a lot from Texas. Like we talked about on the podcast, I tore that quad like 6 weeks out from the Texas Pro. And I got to train legs now all the way into this. And I'm just drastically improved, man. So I'm excited to show the package more than anything.
Do you know what? I totally forgot that you tore your quad. I completely forgot, even just doing this interview. And you told me that. And I was actually going to mention, but your legs look fuller. Like, your legs look like a major strong point looking at them from front. I'll pull up your Instagram while we're talking as well. But that's been one of those dramatic things that I've really noticed change from Texas. But I've seen other videos, photos, all that sort of stuff, because you send it to a close friend thing, and I'm careful not to actually share it out this time and check it, but it's just sent to close friends. But man, your physique seems like it's transformed again, and everyone sort of said, how much better can Martin get because you were so good at the last show? You know, everyone thought you were maximizing your physique at that show, but it seems like you've gone to a new level, better conditioning. You were one of the more conditioned guys in the show last time. How confident are you of, like, you know, being able to actually overcome, like, I don't want to start a whole Andrew Jack versus Martin Fitzwater thing here again, but how confident do you feel going against him again? Because obviously I think he'll be improved as well.
Yeah, man. Like I said before, like, I'm just excited to stand next to these guys. I'll say this, man. I thought I was really, really good at Texas, but from now to then, I was 85% at Texas, especially because of my legs. I didn't think that it affected me that much, dude. And then after seeing what it happened after getting to train my legs really, really hard the last few weeks, it made such a drastic difference in the fullness, in the detail, and then conditioning alone. Like, we know how many calories leg training burns, right? So, like,
yeah,
if I get to have those really, really hard sessions, I feel like that was something else that etched out the conditioning. So we all know from the back I was really, really good, and from the front was where I got beat, in my opinion. Especially the quads, the hips, those type of things. That's drastically improved. So if you want, I'm gonna send you a picture right now.
Sick. Where are you sending it?
That you can leak. I'll put it on WhatsApp.
I like it.
This is from 2 weeks ago, but this gives you kind of an idea of where my quads are now compared to Texas.
I have to figure out the sharing thing because I don't want to share the wrong thing. I don't want to share our private conversations.
Yeah. But
I'll figure it out. Oh, wow. So when was this one exactly? Sorry.
That was 16 days out from the show.
Cool. Well, I'm going to download this photo, and actually, no, I know what I can do. I can pull this up big and figure this out. I'll just share my screen completely, and everyone can see everything that's on my screen. So hopefully, nothing weird pops up. But I'll unshare this one.
But yeah, man. So with that, I know I'm drastically improved, and that's all that matters to me. This isn't in my hands; it's in the judges' hands, right? So whether I think that I beat Andrew or not, I don't get to make that decision. They do. I'm going to go be the best physique I have put on stage this year, and hopefully I get rewarded for it. But, dude, I'm super pumped. This is like that even right there is a little bit behind compared to what I am now. I'm more improved since then. Conditioning is a little better since then. So we'll just see what happens, man. It's going to be a good time. And, I get to share the stage with some guys that I really look up to. So, I was actually hoping that Lionel would be here as well, but bro, I watched Lionel when I was a kid. I've been watching James Hollingshead train his ass off for the last couple years and been a really, really big fan of him. And then just getting over here and like meeting people and shaking hands with all these UK fans has been such an experience. Bro, I live a dream. I'm 25 years old. I worked construction before this. So for this to be my job and for me to be making a living doing this crap is it's pretty surreal, man. I'm very grateful for what's going on in my life right now.
Yeah, it's insane, man. It's insane. But obviously, as well, we can talk more about what you're going to bring to the stage at this Arnold Classic and all that sort of stuff. And we've got a ton of listener questions too, so I'm going to leave a bit of time for us to get onto that. And but the Arnold Classic UK, obviously, there's been a bit of news about that. I did a video about it. The Arnold Classic crew in the US came out. I'll just sort of summarize it quickly for everyone now. They came out and basically said that the money wasn't in escrow and all that sort of stuff. There's been pushback on that. There's sort of a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, so I don't want to get too deep into it and accuse any one person, or whether it's the Arnold Classic UK promoters, the US people, the IFBB, all that sort of stuff, Two Bros Pro. I think everyone has sort of a different story. But how's it been being over there, hearing this news? Obviously, at first you probably thought, hey, am I going to get paid from this? Because that's obviously one concern. And obviously, Arnold not coming, all that sort of stuff. How do you feel about it? Because obviously you're planning on trying to win this show, and Arnold obviously isn't going to be there now. So it's got to be a little bit of a thing where you're like, damn, I've been envisioning maybe getting interviewed by Arnold on stage or whatever, which I'm sure, like, knowing you from what I know so far, you would have envisioned that the whole time, and Branch would have been probably telling you to do that. So how does it all feel, and what's the talk been, I suppose, over there? I don't want you to obviously disclose anything too private, because you obviously hear a lot of stuff being one of the top pros. So how is it?
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, obviously I know everything behind the scenes now. I'm not going to share everything, but I will say that the IFBB Pro League has this 100% handled. There's nothing to worry about. Jim Mannion is on the ball, and everyone will make their money and stuff like that. So I'm not worried about that at all. But to be honest, man, when I heard the information, the first thing that crossed my mind was, I don't give a shit about the check. I don't do this for the money. Obviously, it's awesome. It's important. It's what pays my bills.
How much is first place?
But at the end of the day, man, like, in all reality, I would do this for free. I love bodybuilding more than anything. I feel like I was born to do this, and I make money outside of bodybuilding, or outside of competing, if you will, with my sponsors and stuff like that. So, the money is important and stuff like that, but I do this because I love it. I get on the stage for my fans and the people that support me and love me. So that part really, honestly, had no effects on me. I do feel some type of way about Arnold not coming. Like you said, I've been practicing that victory speech in the shower. I really wanted, more than anything, I respect classic bodybuilding from when Arnold was a lot, man. That's part of the reason that I love to pull the vacuum in my front double. I really like that classical shape, and I kind of want to bring that back to open bodybuilding. So I was kind of hoping to make Arnold proud and kind of hear what he had to say about my physique, and maybe even have him give me a little shit about my calves. So that part is a little like hurts my feelings, if you will. Just because I feel like an Arnold Classic needs Arnold there, right? But at the end of the day, the show goes on. I'm still here to compete. I'm still here to win the damn thing. And I'll still shout Arnold out and say, like, hey, I hope you like that vacuum when I win this damn thing, if I get to do it. So to me, it's all part of it. Sometimes things just don't go the way that they're supposed to. And that part has nothing to do with me. That's on the expo or the promoter, whoever wants to take the blame for it. That has nothing to do with me, though. So that part, like I said, Arnold, I would have loved to be able to hopefully get my trophy from him and stuff if everything worked as planned. But the rest of it, man, I love bodybuilding. I'm here to just have a blast and enjoy myself. I'm traveling the world with my hero, who's also my coach.
Pretty cool.
Just the nostalgia of it all, man. Like I showed you, but I'll show these guys really quick if I can flip my camera. I don't know if I can.
You can just turn around if you need.
Yeah, so I'll just show you guys, but like I got the rice cooker here, and I got a microwave and a George Foreman, and underneath here is a cooler that plugs into the wall. Like I literally set my hotel room up like a house. I have like a kitchen, and this is what Branch did at the Olympia every year. So it's kind of cool, man. Like just to have the whole thing all together and like spending time with B and like seeing his reactions to how I look and like the words of encouragement and the things he has to say about like even what we're going to do in the next 5 to 10 years, man. It's surreal, dude. Like I said, like I'm still like a fan and a kid of bodybuilding outside of being a pro. So like some of this just doesn't even feel real at times, if that makes sense, you know?
100%, man. That totally makes sense. Let's get into some listener questions because there's a lot of stuff being asked in here. So
cool.
First question. I promise I didn't set this up. Have Martin and Andrew already met in the UK? This is from Loho on YouTube.
No, man. I actually haven't talked to any competitors. Just been kind of doing my thing. I went to the expo yesterday and shook some hands and took some pictures and stuff. But a lot of competitors don't really get out and about and stuff like that. Or some of them maybe have appearances and things like that, but I'm not like trying to go to the gym or anything like that to see people or run into people or anything like that. So not really worried about seeing any other competitors that we can beat.
Cool. All right. Let's go to the next question. There's a few people just start having a conversation between themselves as well in the comments. A lot of people just going back and forth. Martin, a lot of guys talking about between you and Andrew jacked, which is always going to be sort of a topic of conversation.
Of course.
Here we go. Here's a question. This is back on the Arnold Classic thing. I am not going to try to pronounce this dude's name. I'm so sorry. The rumors that the name of the competition is changing and it will not be called the Arnold Classic. Do you know anything on that one, Martin?
I actually don't. From the sounds of it, I think that this year will be finished. It will finish out as the Arnold Classic UK. Obviously the trophies are already made. They already have Arnold Classic UK on the trophy and stuff like that. So you can't really change things now. But moving forward next year, I would assume that unless they come to an agreement, they sit down and they make some things happen, that this will probably go back to something like what was called, it used to be called Body Power here. And I think it'll probably just go back to something like that versus an Arnold Classic, but we'll see, man. Hopefully Arnold wants to keep involved with this and keep doing it. The idea of, for one, it kind of sounds like the Arnold Classic Australia might be kind of gone.
It is for now, at least.
Yeah. So I don't want to see the UK one gone too. I would like to keep these around. So hopefully not, but I have no idea, to be honest. That's probably going to be hashed out over the next 12 months.
Yeah. I feel like it's such a good opportunity now for someone, obviously like Jake Wood did with big money, getting in there and doing what he's doing with the Olympia, which I think is absolutely incredible, but also, someone doing it to try to really establish a second biggest comp of the year, because the Arnold Classic, with all the bad PR it's got and everything like that, it seems like it's fading a little bit in some regard. You know what I mean? It used to be sort of competing with the Olympia for prize money and all that sort of stuff, and it is in the classic physique now. But I think, it's sort of stagnated a little bit. But hopefully either it gets a resurgence or we get, someone like The Rock Show or someone like that with money. I know like Patrick Bet David, who has like a huge channel, he's a big fan of bodybuilding. So I'd love to see that personally.
Mark Wahlberg is getting involved. The Rock is still kind of involved. So some of these bigger names, I think the Arnold Classic over here, it would be better for somebody that's very, UK bodybuilder. So maybe it becomes a Dorian Yates Classic or something like that. That would be really cool too. But we'll just have to see.
Next question is from Sko Gotti. Says, will he continue to do shows if he doesn't win? So I assume that means this year.
Yeah, sitting down and looking at things, there is the Legion Sports Festival like 2 weeks after I get back. But in all reality, man, if I don't win this, I need to go improve. I know where I stand. We've talked about this on the podcast before. I think I could maybe crack top 10 in the world. But at the end of the day, dude, like that's not my goal in bodybuilding. My goal is to be number 1 in the world. And to do that, I got to get better. I'm not beating guys like Nick Walker. I'm not beating guys like Rami or Bonac yet. So in my opinion, it's back to the drawing board. Obviously, it'd be really cool to get to Olympia at 25 years old and have that experience. But I'm not chasing an experience. I'm chasing being great eventually.
Yeah, for sure, man. Of course. This is a question. Any info on the live stream? Do you know if there's a live stream happening, Martin? So it normally is with the Arnold Classic. There's not?
So I'm very, very disappointed to tell you guys that there's not a live stream.
I just assumed, man. I just assumed.
I did too, man. So I was pumping it up and telling people like I'm sure there's going to be a live stream and stuff. I talked to the promoter yesterday, and from the sounds of it, like I was telling you, that there's 2 promoters of this. There's the show promoter and there's the expo promoter. And the problem is I don't think they communicate very well. So I think the expo promoter thought that the show promoter was going to hire the live stream and vice versa. And so neither one hired a live stream. And then it got too close to the show for them to be able to put a media team together to make it happen. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have someone in the crowd hopefully go live on my Instagram as long as internet connection is good during call outs. And the goal for Two Bros as well is they're going to try to do the same thing. And then I made really good connection with the person that's doing the filming, similar to what Gilco does in America.
Nice.
And so if nothing else, I'm going to get you guys the video as soon as I can of the posing routines and stuff like that. I'll send it to you so that you can put it up on the YouTube. And everybody can kind of see things. And even if you're going to do like maybe talk while we're on stage and stuff, even though there's not a live stream, that way you'll have some stuff. And then I'll probably leak you stuff all day long as we do stuff. Cause at that point, I mean, people can see my physique. It's not going to be a secret anymore. Like we're going to be on stage in a couple hours. So I might leak you some stuff. That way people can kind of get an idea. But it does suck there's no live stream, man. I was really disappointed in that. I mean, for my fan base in America, it sucks that you guys don't get to watch and be involved as much, you know, but it is what it is, man. That's out of my control.
Yeah, it's something that really should be almost like mandatory at this stage for a pro show, like for an open men's pro bodybuilding show. Because if people can't watch the show and just say there isn't, you know, like the English version of Gilco there, you're not really seeing any good footage from some pro shows. And that is, I think that's like a blight on bodybuilding, man, because I think it should be covered well. Could you imagine like an NBA game just not being filmed? Like,
right.
like how weird is that, you know?
The other thing is too, is I just feel like at the end of the day, they're probably losing out on a good bit of cash.
Of course.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much money those live stream make, because obviously it's expensive to hire a media team.
Yeah.
But I mean, if everybody pays $19.99 for the show or whatever, you know what I mean? 100,000 people tune in, like that's a lot of money. So
even if it's not 100,000, man, like it's still like you can still make some good.
Yeah, I mean it's
ticket sales.
Yeah, you know, I mean it's probably 10,000 people that tune in, but even then, like that's a lot of money that comes in. So you know what I mean? Like I think that was a miss on the ball for either one. Like I said, it was more of a miscommunication than it was that they didn't want to have one. But you're right, man. I think at the end of the day, all these promoters need to start thinking like, if we want to make bodybuilding more mainstream, we want to get people more excited, bring in more fans, and have this get bigger and more important, then we gotta have people be able to watch constantly and feel like they're part of it. The reason people love football and NBA and stuff so much is they get to see their athletes every weekend. They get to see them do their stuff. And I mean, I think that's a big reason why we've done well so far, or I've done well, Brett's done well, is the YouTube's keeping people involved. So the live stream and stuff needs to happen too, to just keep that thing going. And like we even talked about, like, I'd like to see the IFBB do a little bit more of the road to the Olympia and those type of things like they used to too, to just get fans involved entirely, man. It's bodybuilding is about to be the best it's been in many, many years again. So we got to be on the ball and sharing it.
100%, man. That's it. And creating personalities too, man. Like that's what has been done through, our podcast, Fuad's podcast, everything that everyone's putting out through social media. That does a certain amount. But if we can have like when you with the NBA or whatever sport, you go to what page to go to on Instagram to get the news. With us, it's like you've got Buys and Tries, you've got Bodybuilding Without Borders, you've got the Olympia page. You've got all these pages that you have to follow to try to stay abreast of all the news. You know what I mean? Like some of those pages do an amazing job. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I think they're doing fantastic and they're filling that hole in the market. But I think if there was an IFB Pro League page that posted just all the top physique updates, news stories, all that sort of stuff, and just had all the promotional sort of stuff. So you get all the promo videos for every contest and all that sort of stuff. And it's like your go-to spot for all the info on the comps coming out. Like you'd have, this guy's competing this comp, but you'd have a photo of you and Andrew Jack side by side with your stat, who's going to win, and like really make it all high quality, edited stuff. It doesn't cost that much really for how much money is in bodybuilding still at the high levels to hire those sorts of people to do those sorts of jobs. So I think it's sort of a hole in the market right now, but I think that it's going to come around, man. There's always people that are getting into bodybuilding, and I think it's becoming more and more popular. So the fact that it's more mainstream now, all the divisions, I think it's just going to continue to sort of grow.
Yeah, man, I'll leak a little secret to you guys, but I got to talk with JM Mannion a lot yesterday, and awesome. He was telling me that they did some big changes to the IFBB Pro League page and awesome. The NPC news online, and we're gonna see a lot more content from them personally. So that will be really cool, and I think that they're going to do a much better job going forward with this too as well. So, I mean, awesome. Kind of doing what you're saying, which is really exciting.
Cool. That's why I like Tyler Mannion being in there too, man, because it's like fresh ideas, different generations, all that sort of stuff. Not saying the old generation weren't good. They've done a lot of great, but I think having the, fresh eyes in there and fresh ideas is always a good thing. So next question is from therapist, I guess, spelled in a weird way. What you smoking, Marty? So
I am smoking a vape right now. I do not have any weed in the UK, sadly. But smoking some nicotine. Really, it's kind of to suppress my appetite. I'm still pretty hungry. I'll just kind of tell you guys what we're doing for food. So if you followed Instagram, yesterday I did about 400 carbs, which is like a regular day for me, not nothing extreme. Before that, I was like 4 low 0 carb days just for flying and making sure I held no water. And then water consumption was cut a little bit yesterday. And then today I'm going to do 600 carbs because 400 didn't quite fill me out like I wanted to. And my water's like cut back to a liter. So I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, and this kind of keeps my mind off of that BS.
Yeah. It definitely does, man. Like one thing I was doing during prep was like I was literally drinking teas all day, every day. That was like my addiction at one stage. But now, obviously, you've got these things which are really easy.
Yeah, if I mean, like if it was regular and I'm just prepping, or like it's not right before the show, I'd probably be drinking a lot of coffee, and then smoking on this a little bit too to kind of do the keep me from thinking about those things. But Branch told me today, like no coffee even. I want to see how dry we can get. Because we're planning on hopefully not using any diuretic this time. We used a little bit last time, and I feel like I could just be better and pose a little better if I don't have to use that. Obviously, that's going to be played by ear, but as of right now, there's no reason to use it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just trying to ban some people in the comments. Not because they're saying anything against you, but they're just fighting amongst each other.
Yeah, it's like they're talking too much. It's like having conversations. And
yeah, it's making it hard. I'm trying to like sort out all these questions. There's heaps of questions since those last ones. So, someone make testosterone mainstream.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest, guys. It's kind of starting to be with TRT clinics and stuff. it's a little bit more of a different thing, I guess, if you will.
Yeah, this guy said, no question, but get what's yours, bro. Come back home so we can get started on your Olympia prep. Proud of you, homie B.
So that's my boy James Montu. He lives with me.
Oh, cool.
He's a really, really good friend of mine. He had a kind of a shitty situation, so I let him live in my spare bedroom for the last couple months, just getting back on his feet. And man, this kid, he's awesome, man. He's the same age as me. He's got a huge heart and a big passion for bodybuilding. And he's helped me a lot with this prep, man. He's really, really amazing at posing. He doesn't have a ton of muscle yet or anything, but the dude is incredible. So he's actually the one that helped me build my Texas Pro routine. We put that together. And we just have fun, man. He's, like I said, he's a young kid like me that loves bodybuilding. And it's cool to just have somebody else around that's a super supportive, man. So I love James.
Oh, that's so cool, man. That's awesome. Good work. All right. Next question is from Mark. Did Brian Dobson spot your potential at a young age, or did you intentionally decide to train at Metroflex knowing its history? I think I know that story.
Yeah. So, I mean, but no, man, I grew up in Wyoming. I kind of took that mentality from Metroflex and put it into my own style back when I was a kid. I've fallen in love with that. To be honest, man, my mentality is that I just don't want anyone to outwork me. If I can be the hardest worker in the room, eventually that will pay off. So the first time I got to train with Brian, it actually wasn't even planned. Keon and I were like, we're going to go to Metroflex and train legs today. And obviously Gasp was like, oh, we want to film it. We're going to film it. We're going to send Nick over there to film you. And Branch heard about it, and his ass secretly called Brian and said, Brian, you're going to train Martin and Keon in legs when they show up. So we walked through the front door, and I'm like, hi, Brian. Like, I'd met him once before, but I'm like, so good to see you again, man. Like, you're one of my heroes, and you train the best bodybuilders in the world. We're going to train some legs today. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to kick your fucking ass in legs today. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm going to train you boys today. Branch just called me. He said that I need to put you boys through something. So we started out, man. We did legs, and man, I don't know if I've ever had my ass kicked like that. But when we got done, he said, hey, you got it. He said, just like Branch, he said, I know you wanted to give up, and you never 1 second let me know that you wanted to give up. So he said, if you come back again, then I know you really want it. And because he said what happens is most of the time people train with him one time and they never come back. And I said, motherfucker, I'll see you next Tuesday. So
I love the confidence to say motherfucker.
And ever since then, man, I trained over there with Brian a lot this last year. And then the last, I think it was about 10 weeks out from the Texas Pro, I went to Branch and I said, hey, man, let's start training together. I want you to kick my ass and push me through every session instead of me driving over to Metroflex and only doing legs and back over there. Like, let's murder me and everything. I said, you had one of the best chests of all time. I feel like my chest is weak, Branch. I really want you to push me in that. And so then I started training with Branch as well. And then we've been over to train with Brian. Branch and I get our butts kicked by Brian. So it's been so cool, man. Like, I'm definitely part of the family, and I have the best circle on the planet, dude. Like, I spent the last year building my circle. The only person that I really missed out of my circle that I had before is Brett. And obviously he's still in it. I still send him pictures every day and stuff, but I definitely miss training with that boy. When I get home, I'm going to go out there and push him as hard as I can for about a week before he gets ready to go over to Romania. So that'll be some cool content as well. But man, I'm super privileged to be where I'm at and the people that I have in my corner. I really think that I'm building a corner that I can eventually be a Mr. Olympia with.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Now this one, any future collabs with Nick? I'm assuming they mean Nick Walker, because you guys, now I covered this. I put up a video and basically said Martin and Nick, best friends, ? And you guys have sort of, it seems like you've patched things up, man. So what's the go? Are you going to do any collabs with Nick? And have you guys spoken, I suppose, privately?
Yeah, actually, I actually sent Nick some pictures today. We're getting close, man. I wouldn't say like we're best friends or anything like that, but we squashed our beef. It's just kind of stupid, man. We're both really young guys and we both want it more than anything. So I think that was the hardest part, was for us to be able to see past each other and see like, hey, it's just because we both want it so bad that we kind of have this little feud going on. But we both respect each other a lot, man. Like I've always said, like Nick's one of the hardest workers in the gym. And to me, that's bodybuilding, bro. So we're definitely going to train together. I talked with him, and probably when I go down and train with Brett, I'll probably get one in with Nick as well. So we'll get some content in for sure, and kind of let everybody know that that's just a bunch of BS, and that, you know, life goes on and people grow up, and you're not always just a dumb kid that says stupid shit online, I guess, if you will.
For sure, man. This one here, are you filming videos for your channel, Martin? Love your channel.
So I was, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. This trip cost me so much money. I just couldn't really find the budget to make a cameraman over here with me. So I'm doing a little bit of vlogging stuff, but at the end of the day, we'll get back to it as soon as I get back to America. I am a little bummed that I'm not been able to keep you guys like completely involved over here. But definitely going to be able to grow my channel a lot more after this, I think, especially with the exposure that I'm getting over here. As long as people keep tuning in and keep subscribing and liking and stuff, my channel is definitely going to be able to grow, and then I'll be able to give you guys more content. I just need to be able to get to a position where I can hire somebody to film me 3 or 4 times a week is what I really would like to do. Because it's really hard for me to film myself, and it's super hard for me to edit. For one, I'm not good at it, so it takes me a long time. And for two, I feel like these other guys are better at getting my personality out there by just being behind the camera and me not having to focus on the camera and stuff. And just kind of catch Marty, if you will. So I am bummed about that, but we'll get back to it. Hopefully we get some stuff for the show. I know Nick Del Toro is here with Gasp. As you guys know, I'm not with Gasp anymore, but I'm here with them, kind of, with Branch at least. So Nick will definitely get me some footage, and we'll get you guys like a show day video, if you will, hopefully.
Yeah, nice.
But then when I get back, I'll do like a full overview, give you guys the rundown. We could even go over how peaking went and what I ate and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, I wasn't in the budget.
Yeah, that's fair enough, man. Because obviously this thing's expensive. You know, bodybuilding's expensive, and you did a lot of your prep sort of without a whole heap of main sponsors. Like you didn't have a main supplement company sponsor through most of your prep and stuff. And I think either after this contest this weekend, or maybe next year, we're going to be saying that's crazy you didn't have a sponsor back then. So it's cool that you're doing now. And obviously with Rise and with Flavor Gang, you got all those companies that you're with now. So it's cool to see you being supported, and hopefully in the future, hopefully you win this contest and get plenty of money. So paying a cameraman won't even be an issue in the future, man.
That's right, man. Yeah, man. I mean, bodybuilding's crazy, bro. 25 years old without a sponsor and stuff, man. Like, I'll be honest with you guys. I had $27 in my account on the Texas Pro stage.
For real?
It was like, man, I really hope I win this motherfucker, because if not, I ain't gonna have no money in the bank.
I love that hustle, man.
That's bodybuilding to me. Like I said in the beginning of this, I don't do it for the money. I do it because I love this more than anything. So I won the second place check that paid my bills. And because of that, I got a really good sponsor out of the Texas Pro, and they're who made this possible. If it wouldn't have been for Rise and the performance that I had at Texas, I probably wouldn't have been able to even make this show happen. So I'm very, very thankful for them in my corner for making this happen for me. And then hopefully this, kicks things off for a very fruitful year for me, if you will.
For sure. And something, man, that sort of reminds me a little bit in a way of this is like the Kai Green situation, how he was literally just got to the next contest, got to the next contest, and then he was rolling. Like after he won that 10K and got the best, I think he got the best posing award at like Sean Ray show, the pro show that he put on. And he said, if you didn't put the best posing award on, I don't know how I would have like got home. He's like a one-way ticket, and it's like that crazy shit, man. Like it's you hear about these stories, and it's like if you become a future Mr. Olympia, which is obviously what your goal is, and you're obviously going to have people that detract from that and say, with Nick Walker, look at that situation. He was saying it, and people just hung shit on him, and look what he's doing now. So
Yeah.
this can be something that where, you know, this is the first time you've told that story, and we'll look back on this interview and go, holy shit, look where you are in 5 years, man. So
Yeah.
that's what I see for you. I've like, you know, obviously your level of dedication and determination is amazing. And if you can do this year after year what you've done this year, man, the future is going to be really bright. Now I'm quickly going to go through and ask a few quick fire questions. We'll wrap this thing up, man, because we've been going for 35 minutes. We've got 269 live viewers right now. Obviously,
Really?
we've had more people roll through as well. So it's got 278. So yeah, it's growing, man. Like every minute it's growing. So it's really cool. So
yeah, no, man, we can stay on for quite a few more minutes. I ain't got shit going on, and I just ate a meal, so I'm good, bro. We can talk for a little bit.
Awesome. Let's talk for a little bit longer, man. Let's find some questions. People fighting amongst themselves. So here we go. Obviously answer if you want, don't if you don't, because we haven't spoken about this. What's the reason for leaving Gasp? I know on a video on Instagram story you said you didn't like the way they were going, but can you go into detail on what the route was leading to? So obviously up to you if you want to answer that or if you
yeah. I mean, there's a lot that is behind the scenes that I'm not gonna discuss on here because that's just business, and that's, I mean, business is business, right, guys? But at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with contractual stuff. It realistically had to do with, just like I said, the direction of the company. There's some things behind the scenes. But at the end of the day, man, Gasp used to be completely exclusive. When I first signed with the company, you had to fly to Dallas on your own dime. You had to meet MJ person to person, shake his hand. You were lucky to get on the team. If it was kind of like you got a nod from Branch, you got a nod from Johnny, and then maybe you could get on the team. So I spent the first almost 2 years with this company not making a dollar to prove to them that I love this company, that I represent this company, and that I was going to be the next Branch Warren. And in the last year, man, I feel like we've brought on, it feels like 500 people. I know it's not really that, but a lot of them have never even been to Destination, never met Branch, never met MJ. I know that that's a business move to make money. But at the end of the day, it's not what I believe in, and it's not what I got with Gasp. I was with them for exclusivity. I was with them for being the next Branch Warren, and I feel like it just kind of lost that. That's not to say that it can't change. Like I said, I still have a really good relationship with them. I mean, I'm hang out with MJ and Branch every day that I've been here, so it's not like we hate each other or anything like that. It's very good terms. I still go into Destination almost every single day. But right now I'm doing Marty, and I'm going to do the Martian wear and see how that goes. I have mostly lined up. My website is ready. So hopefully as I get back to America, I will drop that and see where that goes, man. I think I talked with Sergio Oliva, and he did really well with his Victory clothing line. And so it's something that I think I want to test the waters with and just see how I do.
Yeah, man. I think that's smart. And I think that's really, really cool. So credit to you, man, for actually coming out and being open and honest about this as well, because most people would say, it's business, and they would leave it at that. You actually said, you know, I hang out with them, we're on good terms, all that sort of stuff. But this is the reason why. And I think a lot of people are scared to say that because they're scared of maybe what the repercussions might be and all that sort of stuff. But I think it's really cool that you just come out blunt, honest, say it how it is, and everyone knows where they stand. And I love that. And you know, Nathan Diashu, who's on our show, he's very much like that. If he has a problem with you, you will know about it. Like he will say, you know, what the fuck, blah, 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 blah. And you go, oh yeah, cool, yeah, oh my bad, or whatever. And he's just like, oh good, you know. So he's really, you know where he stands, and I know where I stand with you, and I know where I stand with him, and all that sort of stuff. So that's, I think, a really actually good quality, man. I'm actually envious of it as well, to be able to,
you know,
be so
I mean, for me, I grew up in the country, bro, in the middle of nowhere, where if you got a problem, you say it. If you can't back it up, you don't say shit. So I just have always kind of said what I thought. Sometimes it's got me in a lot of shit, man. I won't lie. My mouth has got me in trouble before. But at the end of the day, I think that that's my personality. And I think a lot of people love me for being open and honest about everything. You know what I mean? I think that that's part of the reason people like me for who I am, because I don't try to beat around the bush. Just say what I think. And like I said, sometimes it gets me in some shit, but it is what it is.
Yeah, man. I think there's nothing more authentic than just being your authentic self. Like it's the best. And sorry if my voice sounds like this. I wish I. Oh no, I do have more water. Never mind. I was running low on water, bro. I was getting dry. But I just wanted to highlight as well Mark's Max Muscle, who's a YouTube channel as well. He's actually done a lot of comparison videos, I think, with you in it most recently. So
yeah. I always watch him, man. He cracks me up. He actually does some really cool videos. So glad to see him in here. I've watched the one of Andrew and I, the one of Nick and I, the one of Brett and I. And I think he made one other one of me and somebody else that was really cool too. Maybe it was Branch or something like that. So cool. Really, really cool to just kind of see like comparisons of me with other bodybuilders, guys that I respect and stuff too. So cool to just hear and be on channels that I've watched for years, you know?
Yeah, for sure, man. No, he's a good dude, Mark's Max Muscle. Check out his channel. He gets lots of views. What did you just kill?
A fly.
Oh, nice. I've done that before with the book and just completely smashed a mug. So, another YouTube channel on here as well, Austrian Powers, he's a classic physique pro who just recently competed. So it's 5:53 in the morning where he's in LA. So it's cool. Everyone's tuning in from all around the world, which is really, really cool.
Heck yeah, LA.
Any more questions on here? Martin Xavier. What's this one? Blake Hermancy. Muncie. Martin and Xavier, what are your absolute favorite go-to post-show meals? People love this question, man. Martin, what will you be having after your win? Good luck, bro. Go get him. USA flag and then little praying thing. So Blake.
To be honest, man, I haven't really thought about that. It doesn't matter to me. We've talked about this on the podcast before. So after Texas, I had a burger and fries. I had chicken and waffles, and I had a cookie. And the next day, I fasted the whole day.
Real?
I'm not very food driven, to be honest. I like sweets, so I'll probably have like a cookie or something. I know that they have the My Cookie Dealer cookies over here in the UK as well. So I'll probably do something like that. I'll probably have a burger with Branch. But realistically, man, obviously winning. I got 10 weeks until the Olympia, so that's on my mind. And otherwise, dude, like I said, I'm not super food driven, but it will be cool to eat. Mostly, it'll just be cool to enjoy the people that came here to support me and spend time with them. That's what I really enjoy post show. What's yours?
Mine? Oh yeah, I didn't even think about answering mine, to be honest. Man, I tell you what, I made something tonight which was outrageous. I don't know if you've ever done this where you've had some like, I don't know, some green herbs or something, and then you've cooked, right? So you've cooked and you've made something and you're just vibing with it. Like I actually saw a show the other day and it was about like what do you call them, like food trucks, where in the US like all different ones. And there's this woman who was just like, she's from Portland, Oregon. So a lot of stuff's, decriminalized there, like we actually chatted about on the channel. And she said, I'm just really good at cooking when I'm high. And she just was like, she's cooking up like, it's like a place called Loaded. So it just had, obviously it was like
anything.
Food. Yeah, it's just all loaded stuff.
Hell
but yeah, like I feel that same power. Like I feel like I know how to cook. So I made this like Turkish bread. I don't know if you have Turkish bread in America.
Yeah.
So Turkish bread, like panini, but it was like loaded, like chicken, scored it, chucked garlic sort of like all inside it, herbs, salts, peppers, put like hoisin sauce on the top, like Nando's sauce on the bottom, if you guys know what Nando's is, which is like sort of like a slightly spicy mayo. It was outrageous. So that was good. But yeah, man, burgers and stuff for me. And like my favorite cuisines, like Japanese tapas food, like bao buns and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That's my jam.
I'm a big fan. I love like sushi and stuff too. So like if there was a good sushi house here or like a hibachi, that might be what we do as well. But like I said, like I'm kind of whatever. Like I'm not excited to eat. Like you've seen me before and heard me talk about food. I'm like, if I could be this big without eating, I would.
So, hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
But yeah, man. Post show, a cookie.
Simple. All right. Next question is from AK. Ask if he has Tito vodkas this time, Xavier. Absolute. Absolute is what placed him second, and we need him to know this info.
So I don't have Tito's. I didn't think that they could probably. I don't know if I could get that through customs. I didn't try, but I don't think that they have Tito's over here in the UK. I'll probably sneak over to a liquor store here in a little while and see what they have for vodka. Might do a little shot with Branch tonight, but we'll see what they got. I did not bring Tito's though, so damn it.
Well, a lot of time, I don't know if it's like this in America, but you can't take over like 100 ml of liquid on a plane or something.
Yeah, so you can take like a decent bit in a check bag, but alcohol gets kind of sketchy, so I just no need to risk things.
Yeah, fuck that. Austrian Power says, what brand are your nasal strips?
Breathe Right. They are the extra strength, and you have to get the nude skin color ones because if you get the clear ones, they don't stick for shit.
So I actually messaged you about this. So what does nasal strips, what do they actually do? Because I had no idea prior.
Okay, so I'm going to make an Instagram video like I've been doing with the
they're good.
The like flashy pop-up stuff. But I have a deviated septum, so I broke my nose 4 or 5 times as a kid between wrestling, between messing off with my buddies and fighting. I broke my nose a couple times, so I can't breathe through my nose super good. I got a deviated septum on the right side. And wearing this actually opens it up so that I can breathe through my nose. So I started doing this in like 2019 because I was snoring super, super bad. And my ex was like, honey, can we like figure something out? Because I'll have to wake you up just so I can fall asleep before you fall back asleep. So I got a CPAP. I can't stand wearing the damn thing, man. I have a really hard time keeping it on. Even when I wear it in the middle of the night, somehow I rip it off. So I tried this because I read some stuff about it, and it actually like cut my snoring probably in half. And I was starting to get a lot better sleep from it. So I started doing that, and I was wearing it when Brett and I trained together. We trained a little bit earlier in the morning. So we train at like 11. So I would just leave it on from the time I woke up in the morning until we trained. And I kind of noticed that even in training, I felt like my recovery was a little better because I can breathe through my nose, and those sets that you extend really far and you're kind of bracing really hard and you end up holding your breath, but you're breathing through your nose. I wasn't able to push those sets as far as I can now with this on. I mean, I don't think it's anything magic, but I do think if you can't breathe through your nose very well, it makes a big difference.
And I've got that issue literally.
Yeah, and you've, like you said, you've broke your nose, so I do think that it can help. But it's kind of my thing, so don't try to steal it, fucker.
Ben, I'm gonna get one and wear it on a podcast, 100%. But I mean, I've got like a pointy nose, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like I speak very nasally. Like when I first started podcasting, a guy messaged me after the first episode I did on RX Muscle when I used to do RX Muscle Australia. And he goes, oh, good podcast. He said, do you have a cold? And I was like, no, I don't. No, I just sound like that. That's my voice.
Just nasally.
I'm just a nasally
yeah, man. So it definitely helps. But I've actually been talking with like some merchandising people about trying to get some with Martian on the actual piece, which would be kind of cool just to, because it's kind of my thing. I don't remember. I think what who I kind of got it from was Justin Compton used to wear it sometimes when he trained. So I thought I would try it, and then it just ended up working and kind of became my thing.
I feel like I remember that as well. Like, I feel like I remember Compton wearing it, or one of those guys at least anyway.
Yeah, it was Compton for sure.
Yeah. All right. Mark's Max Muscle says, any request, Martin? So any requests on who you want to be matched up against in one of his comparison videos?
Yeah, man. I want to see where I match up against Phil. I know he's gonna whip my ass from the front. But
you want to see how it looks.
Yeah, especially because I get a lot of messages about my back shot being reminiscent of Phil.
Dude, so people will be shocked at your back because I've seen the video of you posing and hitting a rear lat spread, and if it looks like that on stage, it's like it is ridiculous. It will look very cool.
Yeah, man. So I think that one would be cool, especially after this UK. To see what that comparison would be kind of cool, because I do think that the back shot would line up. We have similar muscle insertions in the back, which is kind of cool. And then I have those like really corded hamstrings like Phil. So my goal in life has always been I wanted to be as hard and conditioned as Branch and as round and full as Phil. So that's kind of the goal, if you will.
The best of every world, hey. All right. So next question is from Tanner Barr. It says, when is the Martian sauce dropping? So I'm assuming, is that Flavor Gang?
Yeah, so I actually talked with Ross, man. The goal is we win this bitch and we're gonna do something big. So we have a sauce that I really like, that I think we would drop as the Martian sauce if everything goes as planned. So we might be having one soon.
Sick, man. That's awesome. Love to see it. Man, I need to get hooked up with one of these sauce companies, like hopefully Flavor Gang or something. So I'll hit up Ross, man, and see if he wants to do anything. Because
yeah, bro.
Sponsorships on here.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that would suck for you is shipping, but otherwise, dude,
man,
totally worth it, man. Like this, to be honest, is like the world's best, man. Like this is like the only carbs I'm eating, this and rice cakes, and like it's the best, bro.
I'll tell you something, man. If that can get into Australia and get into like some sort of supermarkets here, because we don't have that stuff. Like someone pointed out the other day that we have some sort of variation of it that you see in the bottom of a health food aisle or something like that. But we don't have that. Like when people say cream of rice, I know so many bodybuilders here that have looked for it in shops and they're like, is this it? And it's like a rice pudding or something like that. It's just not the same thing. And I even bought the same thing when all these bodybuilders were eating cream of rice. We were getting like creamed rice. Completely different. And
do you have connection with Massive Joe at all?
I do know, yeah, Joseph Menzel, who owns that. Yeah, I do know him. I actually competed in his show. And
get me his contact, because I think that they should maybe link up with Flavor Gang, because that would be huge for you guys if you don't have anything like that.
Absolutely, man. We don't have anything like that, honestly, and I think it could be distributed to a wider audience than just like supplement stores and stuff.
Yeah,
so, yeah. I'll hit Ross up for sure and try to tee something up for him, man.
Yeah.
All right. Where's some more questions? There's actually a lot of people commenting, which is really, really cool to see.
How many people we got?
About Nick Walker? We've got 247. We went up near 300 at one point, so
okay.
We're getting quite a few. Based Bodybuilding TV, real juicy question. Are you and Nick Walker's friends again? We covered that before. Basically, yeah sort of.
yeah. We tapped it. We're gonna train together. We'll get you guys a collab. Don't worry.
Yeah. This guy here, stay away from high altitude. Did that affect your breathing while training?
To be honest, man, I don't think I really like noticed it, probably because I actually lived higher in Wyoming than I did in Denver.
Really? I thought Denver was meant to be like the highest.
Nah, dude, Denver's a mile high, so they're at like 52 something feet. Like for 5,080 feet or something like that. Before I lived at 7,220. So I was like another 2,000 feet above Denver, if you will, where I lived before. So they where I went to school and where I started bodybuilding for college, they actually keep like oxygen on the sidelines and shit for people that come and play us in sports and stuff, because it like will straight up murder you. Like these guys that come from California, like San Diego comes and plays Wyoming, and dude, like, I mean, they literally have like a 10-yard run and they go to the sidelines and get oxygen, because it's tough. So I guess I probably never noticed it. And I haven't really got to go back and train like super, super hard. But I do feel like since I've lived at like 0 now, it probably would kick my butt a little bit.
For sure, man. I knew you were going to stop talking as soon as I had that. Everyone's asking what we're smoking. Everyone's very interested in pipe, tobacco, just nicotine, literally nicotine. It's funny, man. I don't know if you've seen the channel Leo Longevity. He actually did a video talking about nicotine and the actual benefits of nicotine in terms of cognitive function stuff. Do you notice that?
Yeah, I do. So I'm super ADHD. And this like kind
I
of
can tell.
helps me. This helps me focus in a little bit.
Mm.
So I absolutely do notice it a little bit. I usually obviously smoke weed instead of nicotine. Then it kind of does the same thing for me. But since I can't get that here, this is kind of the next best thing, if you will.
So you're saying weed helps you focus, or does it stimulate you?
I think it helps me focus.
Mm.
So I kind of I'm I feel like because I've talked about this so much and that post is going like psycho,
You're the
everybody's
weed guy.
asking me a million questions about weed. Um, to be honest, man, I don't think like I'm not advising you guys to smoke weed. So please don't just go start smoking weed if you don't smoke weed.
Because of you.
It's not a PED and it's not going to make you a better bodybuilder. It's just,
Oh,
it's
depends.
something that I use and it's
Yeah.
something that I find benefits from. You could possibly, but I'm not saying do it. Um, for me, like I said, I am very ADHD. I don't really like to take Adderall or things like that, which they do help me focus, but I get a crash from them. Whereas if I smoke weed, I feel like I can kind of like zone in on what I'm doing. And then when the high wears off, I can kind of go back to normal and have a crash, or don't have a crash, if you will. And then I do mostly sativa during the day, which kind of helps me focus. And then I smoke indica at night, which kind of gives you the in the couch feeling, if you will, to go to bed.
It's actually funny, man. Like I've pretty much, because I used one very strong indica once, that basically anytime I used it, I was like, I could go to sleep instantly. And I was just like, yeah, in the couch, just like laid out, not feeling like I can really move afterwards. So it was pretty strong. But after that, I've been doing sativas. But I've actually heard that, people say that, because I never really want to feel like when I have it, I want to just go to sleep straight away, unless I have it straight before bed.
Yeah.
Um, so it's more just a relaxed, chill thing. But sometimes I like to work as well. So it's like one of those things where I'd pretty much always try to do sativas. But do you feel like sativas can ever make you anxious? You know what I mean?
So I'm naturally kind of an anxious person, to be honest.
Likewise. Likewise.
Um, but for some reason, I don't really feel like weed makes me too anxious. Um, and maybe it's just because I've smoked for quite a while now and I've like gotten used to it. I mean, I've definitely had moments where I've gotten like really, really high and had like an anxiety attack almost. Um, but bro, I've been smoking weed since I was like 14 years old. Um, Not like every day, but pretty consistently. The only time that I really had a like pretty good break from weed was when I was in college and I got piss tested like 24/7 by the college track team because they thought I was on steroids.
That's annoying.
um, so really, I like they pissed me off because I'm like, you guys suck. I'm not on steroids, but I like to smoke weed, and you're testing me all the time, so I can't smoke weed. Um, but yeah, so outside of that, man, I've just smoked like consistently to where I don't think it really gives me that feeling. But I definitely know I have some friends that like they never smoke, and when they do, it's like it's almost like a disaster.
Some people like that, and their smoking probably is obviously way too much as well. And I feel like when you've smoked consistently for a while, you can smoke it and completely function. But there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that I know, man, and some people are ultra sensitive. I smoked with someone once, and they had a little bit. Like when I say a little bit, it wasn't a joint; it was a little bit in a bong, and they did that, and they were like, "Whoa!" And they're like, "Is the wall moving?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"It's not moving."
Yeah.
And they're like, "It's happening. It's happening." And I'm like, "Oh god, they are tripping." And it was such a small amount. It was like mind blowing to me. And then there's other people that will do that and just be like, "Cool," like like. So
That's kind
it's
of
interesting.
I've always wondered that. It's kind of interesting to me because like I'm a hyper responder to gear, obviously, right?
Mm.
So always wondered like why isn't it that like maybe like why can't THC be like that for me? Because I wish I was like a lightweight. Like that'd be awesome
Mm.
if I could smoke like a quarter of a joint and just be like skyrocketed. The other thing I've noticed though is I smoke dabs mostly.
What are
And
dabs?
so dabs is just concentrated THC. So what they do is they take
Oh,
the weed, they extract the THC, they put it in either an oil or a butter or something like that, and then you just smoke like a tiny bit of that dab, and it's like 85 to 90% THC versus regular marijuana is like 20, right?
If that, yeah.
Yeah. So that personally will give most people anxiety attacks. Because I have a tolerance, I feel like I do better on that. And I actually don't get some, like, actual marijuana makes me hungry. Dabs don't. So I kind of use things in different ways, if you will. And that's probably, honestly, you and I could do like a full podcast on that if we wanted to, because we could go way into depth in that, and I'm sure people would be interested in it. But let's get back to the UK.
yeah, for sure, man. Let's wrap this thing up pretty soon. I pretty much just wanted to ask you, most people are wondering this. We've sort of talked about what you think you've improved and all that sort of stuff. The guys you're up against, Mark Hector, Andrew Jack, James Hollingshead, they're the main three names, along with your name, that are being talked about for this win. If you weren't in the show and you had to predict it, right? You went in there. How would you place those three guys?
How would I place them three guys? Okay. So I'll say this. I think that James Hollingshead might be the most complete out of all of those guys. He has the most muscle. He's super, super dense. And he gets in really good shape. The only thing that I have reserves about James is he's doing his own prep. I've been that guy before. It's really hard to not have the fuck up fairy be on your shoulder. He's whispering in your ear. He whispers in your ear all sorts of shit that you don't want to hear, and sometimes it makes you make bad decisions. So I don't know who James has in his corner, if he's got some people he's sending some pictures to and stuff. But that gives me reserves on James. Mark, dude, he's incredible, and he improved absolutely insane. But we've talked about this before. They're talking like he's going to be 20 pounds bigger on stage than he was
25.
last time.
25.
Yeah, there you go, 25. So in my opinion, it's really, really hard in a short period of time to make 20 pounds of muscle be very conditioned and very hard. It just needs to be around for a while before it gets that really hard look. So I think conditioning might be a little bit of an issue. And I also think that his legs don't match his upper body as well. And both James and Andrew's legs are wild. So I would probably put Andrew first if he improved from Texas, which, I mean, I'm assuming he did, right? I would probably put, I'd probably put Mark in second just because I don't know. Like I said, the fuck up fairy he's a dangerous person, man. He's a dangerous person. So I love James, but I'd probably put him in third. And then to round out the top five, I guess, give me some other names that are in here. Maybe Jamie Gyllenhaal.
Let's place those top three. So let's place those top three outside of you. So how would you have? So you'd have what? You'd have
Andrew, Mark, James.
And James. Cool. I like it. Then obviously putting yourself in first. So that's basically second, third, fourth.
Yeah. That's the plan, man. I think Jamie Gyllenhaal is going to be very, very impressive as well.
Yeah, Jamie can be definitely improved if he becomes a little bit sharper.
Yeah, so I think he'll do well. And I don't remember any other names that are sticking out to me that are on that lineup. I know there's some other really good guys, but I just can't think of anybody that's jumping out at me to give that last top five.
Hopefully we haven't froze. So can anyone in the comments let us know if we're frozen or not? That's the only person to say that, but I don't think we have. But we'll wrap it up anyway. Seems like everyone else is talking like normal. We're all good. No, it's all good. I think we're sweet. But anyway, man, thank you so much for doing this interview. Literally, we've been on for an hour and 4 minutes now, which is incredible. Thank you so much. I just wanted to actually touch on one little thing before we wrap this up. So I wanted to share the screen and talk to you about this because I thought it was sort of an interesting topic. This video here, if people can see it, hopefully on the screen right now. This is you 20 years old, 200 pounds natural, and it was 2 weeks before you got on. I mean, obviously this is 25 years old, 245 pounds. You were jacked when you were natural.
Yeah, man. This is funny. So never had that's I worked with a coach for about 4 weeks right there before those pictures, and I was gonna do classic physique naturally. This is before they had the cutoff for classic physique moved up. So I think at 5'7", my cutoff was like 172. And we started dieting, man. And like my coach was like, "Hey, kid, there's no fucking way you're gonna make classic, dude. Like, no way. We're gonna have to eat muscle off you." So I was still doing college track at that time, and my college track coach called me and he said that he was gonna retire, and I was like, "Fuck that! I'm done with track then." So I called my coach and I said, "All right, let's hop on some gear, bro." And I took off. So I actually have another video coming where it's a comparison of that and then me on gear for 4 weeks when I did my first show. And you can definitely tell that there was something added in there. It's a big change.
Sick.
The funny thing is a lot of people don't think I was natural there. And really,
you don't look it.
Yeah, I would say that to most people that doesn't look natural. If you see it in person, I think the biggest factor was there's a lot of muscle there because I was really, really strong and I was moving lots of weight for a long time, man. I started training when I was 10. So, I mean, that's already 10 years essentially of training weights. But a lot of that was like fat within muscle, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't hard. It was very, very soft, but it was bubbly. I'm very round. So it looked good. And I was super impressive, man. I had a lot of people say like, you should do natural bodybuilding and stuff. But man, I fell in love with bodybuilding to be a monster. So that was never really a plan for me. But man. Yeah, man, looking back on those and seeing the transformation that I've made is pretty wild, dude. Like sometimes it doesn't even feel like it's real. I was dating a girl at the time and we still talk a little bit, not very often. But I had texted her like probably like 4 or 5 months ago and I had said like, it's crazy that like you believed that I was going to be Mr. Olympia then. Cause like looking at that, it's like, it's like a good physique, but like who would have thought that like I could have been something great, you know? But
look how much better your shape got, dude. Like that's the one thing. Like some guys, when they get bigger, they lose their shape a little bit. Yours got so much dramatically better. Like your lats from a front, that's like something that sticks out. Like that front door bicep, man, is so impressive. Obviously, you know, this comp, it's going to be probably a little bit more crisp as well. And it looks more crisp there than it did at the. Just looks more open. It looks like you've had work done, and it's just like you've just expanded. So you're looking really good, and it's crazy how much better your aesthetics got with the extra muscle. I feel like. Yeah,
man. I think a part of that is just being really, really disciplined on like how I wanted to train, how I wanted to bring my physique up, and also being super, super, super waist conscious. I'm very involved with the foods that I eat. I'm very involved with pulling vacuums every single day.
Nice. That helped me a lot, man. That helped me so much.
Yeah, and like I've said before, man, like I really love classic bodybuilding. So I want to be like kind of a new breed that people haven't seen before, something that's classic and a freak of nature, you know?
I love it, man. I love it. This comment, where's all the likes? Yes, give us more likes. I'll stop sharing that now. And what else have we got here? And we got, should I call this late? Best of luck, Martin. Thanks for the live stream, Xavier. So you can go back and watch this after we finish as well. So for everyone that is watching live that caught the tail end of it, go back, watch the full interview, check it out, leave some comments, not just in the live, leave comments on the actual video as well. It does help out the algorithms and all that sort of stuff. And we want to grow this thing and make it big and make desktop bodybuilding and also the Bodybuilding University podcast big as well. And that's going to be growing. And obviously it's cool having you compete, man, and having Brett compete, and having Nathan on there, who's a 7th place Mr. Olympia finisher. And we've got Stanimal, who's coming on every now and then. And I think we're probably going to start doing them live, man, because it's so much easier to get more content out. So I've sort of discovered that a little bit. So I think we're going to be doing that from now on, or at least most of the time. So if anyone wants to watch it to see if we mess up and do anything totally wrong, then you can watch us live and hope for our slip up. So But anyway, man, it's been fun. So do you have any shout outs you want to give before we wrap this thing up?
Man, just shout you out. Like, thanks a lot for this, man. The exposure and stuff is fun. And honestly, dude, I love doing this. I like interacting with the fans and stuff. So this has been a blast, man. Obviously, got to thank Rise. They pretty much is who made this happen, as well as Flavor Gang and then my corner, man. Everybody that's in it, you know who you are. I don't need to shout you out. But, man, I got the best people around me. And this has been so cool, man. This is just the funnest journey, dude. So thank you guys. Please share this on your story and stuff on Instagram, because I think we answered some really cool questions, and I think some people will be happy to listen to this. And otherwise, man, we'll probably hop on. Like I said, I'm going to be sneaking you some previews and some sneak peeks and all that kind of stuff. But, we just appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I'll be covering this contest as well as much as I can over the weekend. Obviously, no live stream, so make sure you do tune into the YouTube channel. Subscribe, hit the notification bell button, all that good stuff. Check out Martin's. His Instagram, I believe, is in the description below. I already put it in there, so check out Martin on there, and then go check out his YouTube channel and stuff as well. So that's it for myself, Xavier Wills. This has been Desktop Bodybuilding, and I'm with Martin Fitzwater, and we are out. Boom.